Shani from BTech CS second year.
I'm Karthik Tiwari from MPharm MBA second year, and we are going to be hosting today's session. As time moves forward in this dynamic world, everything around us changes, and to be on the correct path of life, we need to have a purpose in life. Sense of purpose is the motivation that drives us towards a satisfying future. To help you to discover your best self, search for purpose in life, and do things that add meaning to your life, we, Team Saturday 10 a.m. at NMIMS Shirpur, are here with yet another amazing guest speaker.
Ms Deeksha pursued a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical, Electronics and Communication Engineering. Now she is a life coach, mindset and emotional wellness speaker, and a holistic lifestyle promoter. She guides people in dealing with stress, change management, leadership development, and public speaking. She strongly believes that balance is the key in our life and we shouldn't give up to our limitations that surround us, and instead, we should outwork our boundaries and make ourselves our first priority, following which wonderful things will happen.
Without any further deferral, I would like to request our guest for the day, Mrs. Deeksha, to kindly introduce herself to our audience.
Hi everyone, good morning. It's a very beautiful morning and thank you for having me. I'm so delighted to have all of you and speaking right in front of you, with you. So as Jasleen rightly said, that I help people to reach their peak performance while ensuring that all their desires, all their outcomes, the things that the goals they aspire, they are well met, ensuring their stress levels are managed. If there is any kind of emotional dilemma or baggage that they're carrying, that is being taken care of and their well-being is intact. So that is what I do. And I am excited to be talking to you all.
That was an incredible introduction, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that now our audience is even more enthusiastic for the session.
I'm sure.
So, ma'am, ma'am, how have you been so far? How are you doing?
I am doing very good. Thank you for asking. So we have a lot of main students here, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have students along with us, and we have our faculty members too who are going to be there in this entire session.
Okay, beautiful. All right.
So, ma'am, I feel a life coach helps people to make progress in their life in order to attain greater fulfillment. But I would like to know, according to you, what is a life coach?
Okay, so life coach is a person who helps others or the people who are taking that session with them, that there are some things that we as people or we as a person would want to achieve, and we know what needs to be done. For example, if you want to study, you know that if you will study for 4 hours, you'll get these and these marks, or you'll get to complete your assignments. But the problem comes when we know what we have to do, but we still don't do it. Right? That is the real deal. You know that if you follow that diet or you do that exercise, you will lose weight. But the thing is, when you don't do and you eat up still when you don't have to. So a life coach is a person who would talk to you, who would get clarity in your vision, who would make you do things that you resist doing. in short. Okay, so that you achieve the goals, the things that are important for you, the milestones, the targets that you want to achieve in your life, that you yourself are getting stopped, you're getting hold all by yourself. So the life coach is a person who will make you and help you, handhold you to do those things and achieve those things.
So, ma'am, as you right now, as clearly you told us that you help us or help your help people to know and achieve their goals. Ma'am, can you provide your insights about what is the difference between a life coach and a therapist?
Yeah. So, like I said, life coach is a person who would drag you, who would compel you to move towards your future. getting clarity for your future. However, therapist would be a person who would talk about what happened in your past because of which you're not taking the actions. So a therapist is a person who would go back into your past, into your childhood, into the things that have made you the person what you are today. So maybe you are very, very controlling, you are a rebel, you are or you are shy, you are reserved. So all these characteristics, what we are today, are coming from the experiences we had yesterday or in our life before, and that is what shapes us to what we are today. So a therapist would talk all about your past and would want to analyze and get terms with what can you do today, what changes can you make in yourself today to get the results or get your life better. Whereas a life coach would be a person who would not much dig into your past, but would rather focus onto your future, right? That what things, what attributes, what personality, what things do you need to undergo today to focus more on your future.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, now we know the difference between life coach and a therapist. So, I would like to ask you that what inspired you to pursue a career as a life coach? And was this one of your end goals?
Okay, so I know this wasn't what I started off as. I am an engineer and I worked in IT with some of the very pristine MNCs like CSC and HCL Technologies. I worked there for 12 years. And while I was working there, I wasn't happy with the kind of work I was doing because that wasn't driving me. It wasn't fulfilling for me. It was more of a 9 to 5 job, and which I used to resist going, and never used to like what I was doing. That gave me an opportunity to look back in my life, that what am I missing, what are the things I would want to do. And I started off as my self journey into my own development as a person. And as I started doing that, there were multiple courses that I did with some of the world's best coaches and trainers like Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Louis Hay. Then I did some of the spiritual things, like I did Vipassana, Anand Sangha. So by doing all this, there was a lot of clarity that got that this is something I would really want to do. And yes, now it is my end goal that I want to grow, progress for myself, and also on the way, as I am evolving as a person each day, I want to help other people who are in the same path where I was a year back, 2 years back, 5 years back, 10 years back. I have grown out. I can help them to grow out from that phases of life. That is what I'm really inspired to do for the rest of my life.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, while preparing for this session, we went through some of your posts on LinkedIn, and there was this one hashtag that you have used in most of your posts, that is hashtag what inspires me. So looking at that, I'm really curious to know what actually inspires you in life.
I think growth inspires me, learning inspires me the most. Every day I keep learning something new, which I introspect in my life, which I want to make sure that I am a better person than I was yesterday. I am growing in terms, not only in terms of material, physical, or financial, but also as a person who I am. So the mistakes I used to do yesterday or a year back, I wouldn't want to be a person who would keep making those mistakes over and over. I want to grow up as a person. And that is one of the reasons that inspires me to learn more, to know more about me. So to get into this self journey of my own knowing, to get fully self-aligned of who I am as a person, not as a product of our social conditioning, our roles, responsibilities, and all the things that society has conditioned onto us. So getting more true to my whole being. I don't know if that makes sense.
It clearly does. We have
Okay.
definitely understood what you
Thank
wanted
you.
to convey to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I would like to ask that how has COVID impacted the mindset of people?
I think in a lot many ways, and I think everybody would agree to that. Not it has really shaken us all from the way we were asleep. That we were only, multifaceted towards the things that looked, important, but actually we got present to what really is important. For that matter, our health, which we took for so granted, our mental well-being, which we all took for so granted, until we found out that so many people are getting depressed. So many people are, in this low phase where nothing else looks good if you are not happy inside and when you're not physically fit. And of course, in our lifestyles, in knowing the importance of meeting people, greeting people, having the importance of social gatherings, having to work with your co-workers when they are not available, having to that proximity of closeness when you go to college and meet your friends, the importance of that, right? The importance of how other people have such huge impact on us, that if we are too close, then also it's a problem, and if it is too far, then also it's a problem. So the key is to balance, to get clarity what is important for you, and then choose the people who really nourish you, who could bring the best self in you. So I think at a lot many ways it has impacted us, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, ma'am, as we are all of us out here are students, so as a student, I would definitely like to ask you this question: that how can we deal with such kind of situations when they come up in our life, like COVID situations, which are so stressful, even on physical levels, on our mental levels, ma'am? What would you suggest us to deal with them?
Yeah. So, be it COVID or be it any other situation that will come up, and as long as we are alive, there will be challenges which will keep coming up, irrespective of how successful, how rich, how wealthy, how healthy you get. There still will be some challenges that will keep coming up throughout till we are alive. First, I think, is to accept this fact that we cannot have a life where we just keep experiences the good time, and we will not experience a time where there is struggle or there are breakdowns. For many people who come to me, they feel that they will be happy when everything is sorted in their life. Like there are no complaints, there are no blames, there are no challenges. If there are no challenges, there is no growth. Right? So to deal with any kind of situation which is tough, first is acceptance. Second is to realize, to understand ourselves, that where are we putting our focus on? Are we putting our focus on what is not happening right? What is going wrong? What all could be done to, why is it happening? Many times we put our focus and our mind on why is it happening? Why is it happening to me? Why things are not better? How could they, why did it had to be turned out to be this way? So all the whys, all the things that are not working good, if we keep thinking about that, that thing will get bigger. Our worries, our tension, our problems will seem bigger because now we are focusing on those. Rather, start seeing that what is that can I do today to come out of this. So looking for a solution, putting your mind and putting your attention into what can be done about it. Okay, I'm in a challenge. but what can I do now? Looking, searching, experiencing the solution approach. That, okay, this is not, there are 9 things that are not working in my life. There is one thing at least that's working, at least one thing that's happening fine. So the more we concentrate on the things that are happening fine, that are working well, then our experience and the velocity of that increases. It's just the law of nature. It's applicable everywhere, anywhere, with everyone. What we focus on, that grows, that multiplies. If you're going to focus on your problem, your problems will grow. If you're going to focus on that, the remedy, the solution, then that will be helpful for you, because then you'll get more solutions, more ideas. So I think that is the best thing that I've learned over the years, and it has really helped me to cope up with my challenges.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for providing your valuable insights. It will be definitely helpful to all our students, everybody in the audience.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah. I would like to make an announcement that the audience can put their questions in the chat box, or they can even raise their hand, so they'll be given a chance to speak. So moving on, ma'am, I would like to ask another question, that is like, how should we keep a positive mindset in these negative kind of situations that we're facing nowadays?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. We easily get influenced by the people around us and the environment that we are exposed to. So the most of the thoughts that we get on a random basis, so averagely a person thinks around 70,000 thoughts a day. And out of these 70,000 thoughts that we are thinking, 95% are the thoughts that we thought yesterday. So they are redundant thoughts. There are hardly any thoughts that we think new or creative or new thoughts. So if we keep thinking the same things over and over and day after day, there is nothing new that we get. So if we want to get more positivity in our life, more enrich our lives better, one thing is the kind of exposure we are giving to our thoughts. And how that happens is how we are exposing our senses, our sense organs like our eyes, our ears, to what are we reading, what kind of things we are reading. Ears, what are you hearing, what kind of news channels, I don't know if anybody of you watches that, but what kind of social media, what kind of subscriptions are you, what kind of people are you following, what kind of things are they talking? Is there more violence? Is there more diplomacy that you're hearing in the channels that you're subscribed? Or is there more talk of growth, more talk of, prosperity, more talk of being there with each other, connectivity, inspiration? What you expose yourself to, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're absorbing, as in what you're learning every day, right? The kind of people you are surrounded with, that has a major impact on what you will think and on your own positivity. Because it's like this average of 7 people we are with, we become an average of that. So just analyze in your surrounded, who are those 7 people, close 7 people that you're surrounded with. What kind of mindset do they have? What kind of personalities do they have? Because you, wantingly or unwantingly, you are going to become an average of those 7 people. Right?
We all of us can resonate with that point.
Yeah.
Sure. Ma'am, we have one question from the audience.
Yeah.
Ma'am, a listener is asking, how can we overcome procrastination?
Okay, that's a great question. I think most of the people, we face that, right? That how do we overcome procrastination? Abudeh, right? Abudeh. Okay. So procrastination is a habit. It's not who you are as a person, right? Why we procrastinate? We procrastinate, if you will observe for yourself in the area that you procrastinate, you will procrastinate on that thing. Either you are finding that task to be difficult. So if you have to study and you don't like the subject, you would want to procrastinate, right? But if there is a subject that you enjoy, you wouldn't much procrastinate on that, right? Or if there is a change in the lifestyle that you want to get. By change, I mean, if you're used to living a certain way, eating a certain way, being a certain way. So for example, many of us, you would want to go for exercise every day, right? But then you're not used to. Now, to get that change into your lifestyle, your body and your mind has to undergo discomfort, because it's not comfortable for the body to wake up and then to run and then to sweat and then to feel tired. No, we don't want to feel that, but we want the result. We want to get thin. We want to, we want to lose on that extra pounds. So we have to see that what is it, because our body and our mind resist change. So when we want to bring a change into our lifestyle, our body and mind will resist it. And that's why we procrastinate, right? So there could be either of these things. Either you're resisting the change, your body and mind both are resisting the change, or second, it's your mind is perceiving as something difficult, something which is huge, something you don't enjoy. So now to overcome that, you have to trick your mind. You have to trick your mind and make your body comfortable with that. But that will happen when you start accepting that this is important for you. So instead of focusing on, if you have to go for the exercise, instantly our mind thinks, "Itna kaam kaun karega?" How, it will be so tiring to get up, to go, to run, to lift up those weights. It'll be a lot of hard work. Now, our mind is completely thinking of the hard work, and that's why it's resisting it. So make your mind think of how will you feel once you've done that. I am 100% sure 99% of the people feels absolutely wonderful after the workout. After you've done your running, after you've done your jogging, you feel, wow, I did a great job. That feels so good. So you get a kick from the result. But what we focus on is the hard work, and that's why we procrastinate. So here, while you have to do something, focus your attention on the result, that how will you feel once you've completed it? What will you get after you've learned or submitted that assignment or completed that chapter, right? And then second, that really works is, instead of being in your head, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it in half an hour, I'll do it in some time, I'll do it after I'm done with this. So we are more in our head and less in action. That's what stops us from taking that action, because we are entertaining our thoughts and not doing the real work. So stop the entertainment and bring a countdown as if you're there to launch a rocket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't think and just do. It's like, I have to complete this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit. Even if you sit for 10 minutes, just say to yourself, I'm going to do it only for 10 minutes, not more. I'm going to do that exercise only for 10 minutes. I'm going to do that assignment only for 10 minutes. It is when our mind perceives that I'll have to do so much. I'll have to do 2 hours of sitting and reading. I'll have to do 2 hours of workout. Only then I will get that result. Start small. Give yourself only 10 minutes, and then you'll not stop for 10 minutes, and I can bet on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights on this question.
I'm sure it was helpful. I'm glad.
This will be very helpful for everybody.
I'm glad.
The next question from our audience is, how can we understand and accept ourselves and the situations that we deal with?
By reassurance to ourselves. I think that is a very Purvasha. That's a very genuine question, because it is our closed friends and family and relatives who pull us down the most. It's hard, but that's what it is. They are our biggest critic sometimes. They are the ones who are telling us on the face what we are not doing right. And that makes it hard for us to accept ourselves as we are, because of the negative things that we're thinking about ourselves from the people around us. So imagine that everybody else is doing that. Everybody around, many people around us are doing that to us. They are showing us the mirror of the things that we are not doing right. And on top of that, we also start doing that to ourselves. We start finding complaints in ourselves more than anybody else then, after a point in time. So imagine living with the roommate who's pointing out mistakes in you all the time. How would you want to live with such roommate?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So that happens with us because we are living with ourselves all day long, all life long. If we keep pulling up our own mistakes day in and out, it becomes difficult to stay with ourselves. And that is when we cannot accept ourselves, because we are living with the roommate whom you don't like. So what you need to do, you need to start appreciating yourself for the things that you are doing. You need to start acknowledging, you need to start appreciating, pointing out things that you're doing right, that you're proud of. I'm sure you're doing 50 things, out of which, okay, 10 you did wrong, but at least 40 you did right. So our default mechanism, and it's general, it's just, I have observed it with working with so many people, it's so generic with all of us, that our attention goes on to the things that we didn't do right, that we missed out, that the mistakes we did, things we left out. If in a day we were supposed to do 10 things and we did do 7, but at the night we will be thinking on the 3 things that we missed out. So if we keep focusing on pointing out to things we did wrong, then we cannot accept ourselves. If we start appreciating the things that we actually did during the day, that we are proud of, we helped somebody, we made somebody smile, we did something for your own self, for your own growth, the actions you took, then we start to accept each other, to accept ourselves. I hope that was helpful, Purvasha.
Definitely, ma'am. I mean, all of us in the audience can definitely resonate with the thought that you have stated very rightly. Ma'am, the next question is again coming from the audience. Ma'am, a listener wants to know, how can we counter ADHD?
Yes, so that there are many factors to it, not only one. Of course, your mental state is one of the factors, but there are a lot of hormonal changes that are undergone there, and as a symptoms, there are so many things that you encounter when you are in that situation. So again, you have to do a lifestyle change. So right now, the kind of lifestyle that we are exposed to and which has become normalized is we are disconnected from people and we are too much in our gadgets, phones. So there is a disconnection happening on the personal level. Then second, food has a very important role to play in any of the chronic illness that we have. What kind of food are we feeding to ourselves? Because that really changes the whole alchemy of the body. Our cellular structure, our chemical structure within the body gets changed. Our stress hormones gets changed, right? So the balance of the inner alchemy happens when we are taking the right kind of food. And I am sure all of us know, we have that much of knowledge that what food is good for us and what is not, right? It's more of greens, vegetable juices, and what's, the live food. The more we take intoxicated things, the more imbalance it is causing to our body. Third very important thing is what time you're getting up and going to bed. It's the circadian rhythm that you're following. If you're having too many long hours of, you woke up at, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and you're getting to sleep late, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 12 a.m., I don't know. But then that, if you're not keeping rhythm with the rhythm of nature that is rising up, maybe not rising up with the sun if that's too difficult, but then closely, right? And sleeping on time. So these things actually impact a lot on how your mind state is and the chronic diseases, illness that we are seeing in everyday, so it's intensifying for everyone, be it thyroid, be it BP, your sugar, fatigue, body, one very important thing, I don't know, many of you would know, excess weight, too much weight is a replication of your connection with your emotions. The people who are not able to shred out weight has something to do. So you might have tried different things, lost weight, but it'll come back. You lose weight, but it'll come back again. That is because you have a disconnect with yourself, your emotional wellness. So all these chronic illnesses, ADHD, one of them, that you need to be ready to change your lifestyle. Give more time to yourself. Yeah, I think that's what I can suggest right now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable inputs on this question.
So, ma'am, the next question is again from our audience. As a life coach, what would be your advice to our generation that today's majority of audience belong to, that is students, and they have healthy relations with family and friends? So how would you?
My number one advice to this generation, and I really adore this generation, like the Gen X and the millennials, because I've been working with them and I see the clarity, I see the zest, I see the open-mindedness this generation has, a lot of potential. But what is really missing, which is making things difficult sometimes, is the lack of emotional connect. And why that is happening is because we are more, like I said, we are more present with our gadgets than being present with the people around us. So the connect is happening over distance. It's a superficial connect happening more than the real connect happening, which is bringing increasing cases of aloneness, feeling lonely, feeling sad, feeling depressed, because now you really don't have a real person in front of you, a real friend, a real well-wisher with whom you can genuinely share. You can genuinely reach out when you need to. because you are investing your time in the superficial. And this is in your hands. This is in our hands. Where the things we will invest our time and energy on, we will get those results only. If we will invest an energy in real people, like talking to them, being connected to them, approaching them, being available to them, it will have a real incremental effect on your mental stability, emotional stability. But if we'll be investing more time in the superficial things, and I'm sure all of us know what I mean by superficial things, the more disconnected we will be with the life. It may give a short time, a very spark of, as we call it, raise in hormones. It's like it may produce serotonins at that time, feel good factor at that time, but it's very, very temporary. So one real advice is start connecting with yourself. That is the most important thing, investing time in yourself and with other people. That is very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next question is again from the audience. Ma'am, a listener wants to know how to inculcate self-faith or confidence within ourselves.
Yeah, Muskan. Okay, Muskan. So self-faith and confidence. So confidence is a byproduct of what you feel about yourself. If you're feeling lousy about yourself, no matter what posture you sit in, it's going to reflect, right? It's your connection with yourself. If you feel worthy, you feel I am good, if you feel that I am valued, if you feel I deserve, it will automatically, without doing any effort, will show in your confidence, in the way you are, how you project yourself, how you speak, how your body language is, what kind of words are coming out, what kind of what kind of connected, what you bring to the table. Our confidence is not only how we look, but how we place ourselves where we are, right? So there you would have seen people, they walk into the room and everybody is glancing them without they even saying a word. And there are people who, they would want them to get noticed, but still you wouldn't notice them, because it is your own conversation about yourself which reflect in our confidence, right? And self-faith is exactly what I said before, is you affirming to yourself, even though there will be people around you, there may be people around you who are finding faults in you, who are finding things that you're not doing right, but you have to be your best buddy. You have to be your best friend first, to have that faith in yourself that no matter what anybody else is saying, I know I can do it. I know that I'm capable of doing it. Nobody else will define what I'm capable of or what I can do or not. It is me who will define. And I will not get stopped by anybody else's views. So it is your own reassurance in yourself that will bring the self-faith. I hope that answers your question, Muskan.
Yes, ma'am, surely. This will be very helpful for us.
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad.
Another question from the audience is that, ma'am, could you please tell us how can we build habits? And most importantly, how to keep it going?
Yeah, I know that's the most difficult part.
Yeah.
Building habits, reading a book. I want to read a book. I want to start, I want to quit drinking. I want to quit coffee, or I don't know, whatever it is. So for building a habit, the number one mistake that many people do is when you are zest up, when you are all inspired, what you will do, you will take up big goals. कि कल से देखना, from tomorrow I'm gonna rock it. You know, I am going to do this and that. 1 hour I'll sit and study. I'll finish all the chapters. In 15 months I'll be, through with the course, which is good, which is very good thinking. But what happens when we actually have to materialize it, execute it? We cannot be at that pace because we are not used to. Right? So what happens? We do it for 1 day, we do it for 2 days, and then as our enthu starts to decline, those 1 hour or 2 hours get into half an hour, then 15 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then it just goes. So what we need to start doing, first of all, when we are in enthu inspired, good, you make goals, but then make realistic goals. You start small. Right? What I mean by small is if you want to finish a book, if you want to complete a course, you say, I'm going to do it half an hour every day. I'm not going to, go full on. I'm not going to commit myself 2 hours, and then taking out 2 hours from my routine becomes difficult. And then bringing that change into the life becomes difficult. So rather, I'm just going to do it for half an hour. And then second most important thing is, if we keep it on random, right? 1 day you'll do it in the morning, second day you'll do it in the evening, third day you'll do it midnight, right? Fourth day you're going to do it whenever you want to, and then it'll get missed out because it is not in your routine. It's not in your fixed routine. So set up a time. If that thing is important, fix up a time that every day 5 o'clock, half an hour is free. Now my other plans will happen according to this. So many a time what happens, we make this schedule as per our availability of the time, that I'll fit in, squeeze in this time, jab time milega. Rather, fix this time, half an hour, 40 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatsoever you want. But I will make my other plans that this time is fixed. Now, other things will vary, but this thing remains fixed. You do that for consistently for 20, 21 days. That's when you start to getting a hang of it. So having that commitment to yourself that at least for 21 days, I am going to stick to this for every day. But many a times what also happens is that we did it for 7 days and we did not do it for next 2 days. Now we start thinking, I'm not able to continue. I'm not able to do it. It's not happening. So we lose our zest. So even if you've discontinued for 2 days, get back, relaunch it back, right? And then again start. This is natural. This happens with everybody. It's happening with you. It's very normal. Just bring yourself back to that. Don't give up.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights. Ma'am, coming to next question. Ma'am, in this monotonous life that we face once we step into this world of professionalism and we are working for a company and everything, ma'am, how should we handle this situation of saturation? How can we keep growing and not make our life stagnant?
I don't think life is ever stagnant because either you're growing or you're depleting. Either you're growing up, and if you're not learning and growing up, then you're going down. Right? So it's not stagnant, but if you feel that there is no excitement, then that means you're going down. Now, if you're going down, then you need to see for yourself what are those things that you want to grow up into, or you want to get into your life. And it could be different for different people. right? To get that excitement, to get that energy back into your life, it could happen through different ways. So learning and growing is one of the fundamental principles of as humans, that we feel happy when we are growing. And growing does not mean that you have to study. It means that you can grow in any field of your interest. So identifying that field. For some people, it could be music, dance, it could be cooking, it could be, coding, it could be hiking, it could be anything, right? Painting, I don't know, as far as you can go. Like, what is important for you that you love to do? And then you can increase your learning, your skill in that area. And as you learn your skill in that area, you will automatically feel that you're growing. And when you start growing in one area, it's a natural law that you start growing in other areas.
Okay, ma'am. Right.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, all the techniques that you've provided us with, they are very helpful, and I'm sure that they'll be helpful for all the people in the audience. So, ma'am, with all these techniques that you've provided us with, can you help us to know that how can we channelize them to find our purpose in life?
So that's a very big question that even, the earlier we can distinguish it, the better for us. And most of the people are students here. So this is a beautiful age to distinguish that what's my purpose in life. We can only resonate or find our true purpose when we try different things. Number one, the things that when even you are alone, when there's nobody else watching you, you would still enjoy doing that thing. Or if nobody paid you for that thing, right? So there are some people who just like creating music, knowing more about music, or just like drawing. They just want to scribble, they want to make doodles, they want to do this. So some people just like inventing new dishes, creating new dishes. It's your self-expression that is coming out by doing that thing. When you start doing those things because you like doing those things, not to prove, not to showcase yourself, not to outstand anybody else, but just because of this joy of doing that thing, right? It could be talking to people also, like what I do. Yeah. And then you see that by doing that thing, how can you impact or help other people? That becomes your purpose. That me doing what I love, how it could be helpful to other people, how it could be helpful to hundreds and thousands of people, right? So when a musician has created his music, he did it for his joy of creating music. But then when other people are listening to it, he's providing value. He has added value to them. So first step is to identify for sure for yourself what is your resonance, what you feel home doing. Like home, I mean you feel at home within yourself when you do that thing. First step is that, and the later will come automatically. Don't worry about that.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, one question that most of us feel very related to, it's from the chat section. Our audience is asking, ma'am, we tend to get irritated and we lose our tempers on our parents and family. Ma'am, how, especially it has happened a lot during the lockdown times when we are all in the same environment for a long time. So, ma'am, how can we control it? What is the remedy? Is there any way that we can counter it? Ma'am, please provide your insights on it.
Yes. So getting angry, agitated, irritated. There is one common ground to all of this is, especially in the COVID times, it's happening because now we are in close proximity. We are not getting our space that we want. And why it happens is when we want things our way, when we resist things happening the way we don't want. So anything which is not happening your way, the way you want it. You want your mom not to disturb you while you're on your phone. You want your brother not to nag you and pull you when you're doing your own thing, right? When we want things our own way, we are attached to things happening our own way. This is how I want. Now, anything which will happen, which is not that way, or which is which is coming in the way of not happening that way, you would react. And there could be different type of reactions, like you get angry, irritated, you will yell, sometimes you will just close the door and sit in silence. So there are different ways of reacting. Now, how do you overcome that is, number one, we get too attached to our own wants, that we dismiss the wants of others or point of view of others. So we start resisting them. The resistance is causing the irritation. It could be a little deeper for you guys, but then it's fundamental to all the problems that you're saying, that it is the resistance, not with the person, but it is the resistance that things are not happening what you want. So it is the attachment for your own things. कि मुझे ऐसे ही चाहिए, I want it this way. And that creates a resistance for the other that makes you react. So as you understand, there is an understanding needed here. If you want to work on this, there is an understanding from your part needed here, that I want it this way, but let me see others' point of view. Just giving the space to see others' point of view. Where is the other person coming from? And then you can choose. You want to do it or not want to do it. No compulsion, no hardships. But then at least see where the other person is coming from and then choose.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if that can be helpful.
Yeah, sure. That would be very helpful for us. So, ma'am, another question that I would like to ask is like, how can we politely say no and maintain our boundaries and relations at the same time?
Yeah. So we can only create boundaries when we are clear of what we want. When we are not clear what we want, where we are headed, what is the future, what is it that we want for ourselves, then why we are creating the boundary doesn't make sense, because then it could be contradictory, because for some people that boundary is a boundary, for some people that boundary is not boundary for you, right? When you get clear, what I mean by that, if I have, like, I'll give you my example that will get clarity for you. I don't like going to social occasions like marriages, birthdays. I don't like that. Now, of course, there will be marriages, there will be social occasions. So lockdown was a happy time for me because I didn't have to go anywhere, right? Okay, but then it was a tough time for people who love socializing, right?
Right.
So how do I create my boundary when I want to say no, that I don't want to go to this marriage, but yet there are people expecting me to come and they will feel bad when I don't go, right? How do I create my boundary? So my boundary gets created that why I don't want to go. First, getting that clarity for me. What will I get if I don't go? So what will I get? I will sit, I will be with my children, I will read a book that will give me peace of mind. That is what it'll get. It'll get quality time with my children that I'll spend rather than dressing up, going, traveling, attending, meeting people with whom I don't even know. Okay. Now, how do I say no? I say no to the people for whom it matters. So if the person whose marriage it is or who's a relative to me, if I straight talk to that person that this is what I want, if I can't do that, then I being okay that even if they are upset, I'm okay because this is what I'm getting. And they will set up their expectations when they will experience me doing that. So it is when we don't set up our own expectations and we feel guilty or we feel upset because they are upset with us. So it is their upset that is not comfortable to us. We don't want them to get upset and we want to do our own thing. So we want to have this and we want to have this. We don't want to let go any of this, and that's not happening. Right? So it is your clarity that what you will get if you don't do that thing. And are you ready to face the consequence if you don't do it? Are you ready to make people upset? If you're ready, go for it.
Thank you, ma'am. This was a very valuable suggestion that you have provided every one of us. Ma'am, if you could leave the audience with one thought, ma'am, what would it be?
One thought that would be what I have really found over my experience for so many years is I think our mind, our thoughts is the most important thing that we have, powerful, important thing that we have, that nobody can take it away from us, right? If we learn how to manage our own thoughts, how to have our mind in our control, then it is nothing that you can't achieve. Material success, your personal success, your relationships, your health, your vitality, your growth. There's nothing that you cannot access if you have your mind, your own mind, your thoughts under your control instead of they controlling you. Right now, our thoughts, our moods, our feelings, they take over us. And then we end up doing as our mood says, our feeling says. If we can learn, and this is a beautiful age for you to learn that, because you have whole of your life ahead of you, where you're just beginning to step into the outside world. So if you can start to learn that, and there are people who are teaching you how to do it. I myself teach how to do that. So if you can learn that, to take your mind under your control, that is the best gift you can give to yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, it was a spectacular and a worthwhile session. I personally feel that each and every one of us gained a lot from this enlightening session. I would like to thank Mrs. Deeksha for her valuable time and for being such a great speaker and for inspiring and encouraging the students with a highly valuable thoughts. I would like to extend my gratitude to our director, Sir, Dr. Akshay Malhotra, the faculty members for their unfailing support, and the whole team Saturday 10 a.m. at NMIMS Shirpur for their constant hard work.
Lastly, we would like to thank all the participants for attending today's session. That's all for today. I hope to see you all next week with another fireside with an extremely amazing guest. Thank you for joining us and making this session a huge success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. So I just wanted to share that I have shared my Instagram and Facebook handle here on the chat. And I love to have you there with me and being more connected to me. I have my website and handle, Insta and Facebook handle there. So all of you who liked what I shared, you can get in touch with me. I'll be happy to have you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely life ahead. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.